Hey guys, hanging out with Owen Video. Owen, you are a YouTube coach, and I have to say, I am jealous of your tattoos.
Oh,
Jealous of your glasses.
yeah.
I'm jealous of your
Thank
mic
you.
from coming right off the stage.
Oh, I forgot
Your
I'm wearing it.
thing. Oh my goodness.
I hope
This,
security doesn't stop me. They're like, he's stealing a mic again.
yeah, I saw they're right over there. They're coming after you. See,
Sorry,
hold
Bill.
on just a minute.
Sorry, Bill. Thank you so much. It's great to be here. And this tattoo, I went my whole life without tattoos until I came to know the Lord. And I came to know the Lord through apologetics and through the language of like science and biology and archaeology, right? Biblical history really was a major pull. And so when I got saved, I immediately felt compelled to give this arm to the Lord in terms of this tattoo. And so I put a tattoo of some of those images on my arm, and it's a great conversation starter and,
Yeah.
kind of puts me in this position to talk about the gospel.
Yeah, awesome, man. So you help churches, ministries, ministry leaders with YouTube?
I do. I,
How
I
you
help
doing?
big companies and big organizations.
Okay.
So, we've worked with churches, mega churches. We've worked with, we did a lot in the COVID live streaming space.
Yep.
We really got into the church community at that point, but we've also worked with large companies with, 10 to 200 employees,
Yep.
maybe something like that. But what we do is we create YouTube channels, right? We create powerful YouTube channels. And that's my background. That's all I've ever done professionally. So we really know how to package the message and get it out to an audience that will like it and subscribe to it and come back next week for another episode. And here's the thing, all these churches, all of you guys have the best studio in town. Unless you're in LA, maybe. But if you're not in LA, you have the best studio in town, and our churches are broadcasting centers, and we help churches use them that way.
So what are some tips that you usually get? Where do you start people at?
Huge is open up with something powerful, right? You've got to bring them in. You don't tell the fish, I'm going to pull you out of the water and then eat you tonight,
Right.
right? You don't tell the fish that. You put some juicy bait into the water and the fish comes to you. We have to think more like this in terms of our media. It's like, hey, doing a, Pastor John's daily sermon of the Psalms, like that's not exciting. I can get that anywhere and everywhere at the same time. But when you title your video something like, when everyone around you dies, well, that immediately,
What is that?
what is that?
Yeah.
And we go into Psalm 91 from there, though 1,000 fall by my side, right? So you take the lesson and you sort of pull out a juicy nugget and you lead with that to bring the viewer in.
So juicy baits and juicy nuggets is what I'm getting.
You have to lead with that. Yeah, and it's never, yeah, good. It's never clickbait. That's different. Clickbait is when you actively deceive someone. But yeah, we're in a noisy world, and the church especially has to appear relevant. So when you can appear relevant on the top of the video and then bring them into a good presentation over 5 to 10 minutes, then you're going to win on YouTube.
All right, long form or short form, long and then cut up to short. What do you?
That's a great question. I have one example. I've been in this game for 15 years. It's all I've ever done. It's not like I wasn't in crypto and then transitioned into YouTube. I've started in YouTube. The very first video I ever made was called The Sin Caller, and you can Google that. It's really great. But to answer your question, I've been in this game a long time. I have one example of a long form video being repurposed into a successful short form video.
Okay.
Now, we believe that chopping up your long form, your podcast, your sermon into bite-sized nuggets is decent if at the end of the day, the short form video has a good standalone presentation. But what people are doing is they're just selecting an in point and an out point and kind of schlepping it on the web.
Right.
You've got to be more thoughtful.
So you're great with the long form. People are watching that, engaging with it. You're okay.
Well, we like short form that's made to be short form.
Okay.
Okay, so you made a short.
Define short form. 3 to 5. What is short?
Oh,
Under 60.
I wish you would have asked me this a month ago because I would have said under a minute. But YouTube has just unlocked 3-minute shorts.
Yes.
And this is changing the nature of short form. It's also dispelling the myth that people have short attention spans. What we do is we say, oh, well, people have short attention spans. And it's like, actually, you have uninteresting content.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, right. Like that's the self-reflection that that I come in and do
Okay.
and help people understand that. So,
So what makes my content interesting and engaging?
you know, here's great question, content pillars. Let's start there. Okay. YouTube is more like Netflix than it is like social media. What happens with churches is we treat our YouTube like social media. It's like a dumping ground. But all the sermons there, all the
Just
welcome
because it lives there means people are gonna get there and watch it.
e
Is my mentality.
exactly, right? Like we start with content pillars. Okay, what are you doing? What kind of content do you want to do? So we might say something like we have a men's ministry. Okay, great. So we're gonna what are the biggest problems that the men in your community are facing right now? And we're going to build out a list of those problems, and then we're going to just create videos that approach and dive into those problems.
Good.
Okay.
And that would live in a playlist all its
Would
own,
live in a
that would live.
playlist. And here's why, because YouTube, just like every other platform, wants you to binge watch. They want you to watch one video and then another video and then another video. So we need to be thinking in like a 6-part series that you make all at one time, and then you slowly trickle it out, right? So what happens is the viewers, they watch one and they're excited to see the next one, right? This relates to me. So then what we do is we move on to, now let's say now you don't want to do women's ministry. That's a separate channel. Okay?
Separate channel or separate playlist?
Separate channel.
Okay.
You've got different YouTube doesn't think about your audience the way you do.
So I would have different channels: First Baptist Church men's, First Baptist Church women's, First Baptist. You would break it up into channels like that?
Potentially, if that's what you're gonna do. Not every church has a women's ministry that operates that way, right? Like, these are bigger churches. What we would do is we would separate your Sunday live streams, okay? So, whatever happens on the in the sanctuary or on
Own channel.
that's its own channel.
Okay.
And here's the thing, this is where we're like wise as serpents, harmless as doves.
Hmm.
This is exactly how big YouTubers grow their channel, right? Like Mr. Beast, who's the biggest YouTuber in the world, he invites all these other YouTubers in to be on his video. And while those YouTubers are doing that video, they're making videos for their own channel and pointing it back to Mr. Beast. So you've got these channels that are sort of sharing customers, and that's what you'll do. You'll have your Sunday people here, but then you'll point them to our men's channel.
Right.
Or our women's channel, if that's your thing. You may even have a kids channel. There's a church in, like, I want to say it's like Riverside or California. They have this amazing puppeteering like YouTube channel, and it's absolutely stellar, but it's its own channel. You can't put like that content on the same channel as a completely separate audience.
Right.
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 So with churches, we have to look at your size, what you actually do there. And a great, here's one thing that's common to everybody, is like your pastor does a series. Right. So it's helping your pastor do a series in groups. Like maybe this one's for addiction, not male or women specific, but right. Or maybe this one's on submission and the pastor brings his wife in to help soften the tone a little bit. You know what I mean?
Right.
So there's ways around it. Every church is different and needs to take a unique approach.
How important is quality versus meaning like more produced
Yeah.
versus raw form?
It's
Should I have a
not,
mixture?
yeah, it's, we go in and out as a
Yeah.
culture. There are times when YouTube first started, it was all as raw as you could kind of get it, right? And then we moved into the age of digital cameras, right? I started back in 2009, where the hottest video at the time was Evolution of Dance. And I had a Kodak point and shoot camera. It was $99.
And you're going to demonstrate the evolution of dance right now.
Thank you for bringing, that was a great tee up, I had it was a $99 camera that had 15 seconds of video. And so I had to film 15 seconds at a time and loop all these things together to get things going. So as digital cameras, DSLRs became consumer available, I used a camcorder for years, just like what we've got here. Then we went into this phase of higher production value, green screens and on-screen sort of text and things. Today, right now, we're in a phase of somewhere in between, right? It can't be so terrible that it's hard for me to watch, but it can't be so polished that I no longer trust your message.
Good.
Right. And that's where we like to help churches. In fact, with a lot of the work that we do, we help churches take the polish off. It's like, you guys are way too sort of like
too pristine.
Yeah, a little too Nashville here. Like,
Right.
let's,
Right.
you know,
You lose some of the authenticity.
lose the authenticity.
Mm.
Even to the place of like, you make it a habit to film on your mobile phone intentionally, right? And it's you kind of build, hey, pastor's going to do a sermon on X, right? Whatever it is.
Right.
But he's going to film the middle part on his phone walking down the stairs
Right.
because it makes the video more authentic. That's why.
Right. Do you think that a church should do more video? How important is video, the use of video online or across the board?
Video could replace your physical church. Now, I say that to ruffle feathers, okay? Because I don't want that. I don't think the church wants that. I don't think anybody wants that.
Yeah.
But video is so powerful. There's a pastor out in Arizona, I won't say his name, controversial, but a solid Christian man. I don't like the way he does what he does, but the bulk of his congregation is on YouTube, and he has a small church in Arizona.
Right.
So video is powerful, and it's how you're going to reach the culture. But here's the thing, pastor and people and elders. Your pastor is not appealing to them. And you got to think about that. Like, pastors need to understand that the YouTube audience is not a captive audience. It is not your Sunday morning audience. They can click off of you in a heartbeat.
Right. They're not stuck there.
They're
in
not.
the room. They can click off of you.
And you have to be more competitive. And here's what we do. We start to celebrate mediocrity, church. We start to do this thing where you go, well, we don't do this for the views, right? We do this for the glory of God, right? And here's what I believe is happening is you're making these videos, and one of them gets 1,000 views, 2,000 views. The rest get around 300, maybe 50, right? But you got this video that's a banger. It blows up. That's God opening a door for you. That is God saying, look at what I did over here for you, so that I could expand your message because I gave you a calling, pastor. The Lord gave you a calling, and he gave you this vehicle on YouTube, and he even opened up a doorway for you. Most people never get 2,000 views. But then what we do is we shut our door to that opportunity, and we say, rather than following that line, I, the pastor, have an idea to do this other thing. And God will let you. God will let you continue to make those videos that don't get any view. But you say, well, we're not doing this for the views. So I struggle with that. I want our churches to start demanding excellence from their content and to start to do it. Look, I don't want to say it's not Holy Spirit led, because just because the Holy Spirit said to do it doesn't mean he said to do it right now. God opened up this doorway through this viral video, and you should follow that trail a little bit, right? There's always a way to reverse engineer, right?
Good.
And a big way to do this, I know I'm talking a lot, is when you have guest speakers come to your church. Like, when you have well-known people come to your church, you don't have to turn those into shorts, turn them into 7-minute videos. Pastor does like an intro on his mobile phone, and then it cuts to an edited version of the thing. That will bring in, hopefully more people.
Yeah.
And then you follow up on that, right?
Yeah. Good. How can people learn about you? How can people learn about what you're doing in coaching and follow your stuff?
Yeah, I'm everywhere on the web at Owen Video, or visit owenvideo.com. Now, that's not my real name.
What?
Yes, I know. It's shocking. I'm shocking. I want to let you guys know.
Yeah.
They changed it when my family came to America. My great-grandfather was Owen Newspaper. And then in Ellis Island, they
you got
switched
jokes too?
They do. Jokes for days, folks.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
This has been a podcast presentation of Church Visuals. Executive produced by Carl Barnhill. Edited by Mario Franco. Title and show graphics by Angie Lomas. For more resources to help you visually communicate the gospel, visit churchvisuals.com.